I knew better than to glance over, yet curiosity has a harsh timing sense. My ex-husband, Brent, was seated there, an arrogant figure across the auditorium. The half-smile that once made me weak was now gone. His new wife simply made my stomach turn. Madison sat next to him, like a mannequin in perfect posture. And then, it occurred to me, while Kaya was getting ready to walk, Brent leaned toward Madison as she approached the stage. She whispered, "She's exactly like her mother, always, in second place." My heart fell. I heard every word as clearly as day. Like a dart, bathed in disdain, it was aimed directly at me. Madison laughed, a gentle, sweet chuckle that was cruel and phony at the same time. She remarked, "Good thing she got Dad's looks." That caused me to freeze for a moment. Everything seemed to go silent. My hands felt heavier, as if the air itself weighed down on me. Just seconds before, I had been lying on my knees, and now I squeezed my fists tightly in my lap. I could feel my neck getting hotter, my cheeks flushed. I glanced at Kaya. She had just stepped onto the stage. But she paused, as if thinking she must have heard them. Her shoulders stiffened. The confident spark she had just a few seconds ago, the one she used to rehearse in front of the mirror the previous evening, seemed to dim. Her lips tightened into a tiny, quivering line, making me want to yell. How dare they do that, especially on a night that meant the world to her? I looked at Brent again. He was already looking at his phone, browsing nonchalantly, as if he hadn't just broken something that Madison held in high regard. He was speaking to her in a whisper, eyes sparkling with something I couldn't place. Their simplicity simply made my skin crawl. Why did his remarks still cause me pain? Even after several years following the divorce, after raising Kaya by myself, after dragging myself out of the mess he caused, why did a few disparaging remarks still feel like knives? Was it because I'd secretly believed him for years? That I wasn't enough? That I would always finish second? I forced myself to concentrate on Kaya. She was about to make her moment, to shine, and nothing, not Brent, not Madison, not even the weight of all my old insecurities, could take that from her. I took a deep breath, steadying myself. I was done living in the shadows of their judgments. It was her time to stand in the light, and nothing could dim that. Kaya stepped forward, her eyes sparkling with determination, and the weight of everything else lifted for a moment. The world faded out, and for the first time I could see her, not just as my daughter, but as the powerful, beautiful person she was becoming. I would protect her from every hurt, every word that tried to make her feel less than. This night was hers, and no one could take that away from her. Not Brent, not Madison, and certainly not the weight of my past. It was a new beginning. For Kaya, for me, and for everything we'd been through together. As she began her walk down the stage, I felt a rush of pride swelling in my chest. This was the moment, and nothing could overshadow it. Once more, she stood with a slender figure, blinking rapidly while holding the packet, as though she was attempting to get rid of the sting of tears. I recognized the expression. I had worn that identical look on the day he departed from my life. My chest constricted, and I longed to confront, to shout across the gym, to insist that they apologize in order to keep my daughter safe, as I always had. But I was held back by something. In my mind, a whisper said, "Not yet. Let her have this moment." But my goodness, it was so hard to stay silent. The auditorium was already crowded, humming with camera flashes and applause. However, it seemed to me that we were stuck in a distant, muted snow globe. Kaya's voice, choking, came over the clear but unsteady microphone. "This isn't the actual prize," she murmured quietly. "That comes later tonight." The audience fell silent. A few perplexed mutterings came from the bleachers. Beside me, leaning in with furrowed brows, someone whispered, "What is she talking about?" I wasn't sure, but I murmured to my kid, "Leo, I'm not sure either." The person seated opposite me tugged at my sleeve, asking, "Is Kaya okay, Mom?" However, I wasn't certain. My pulse was racing and my fingers felt numb. Something was going on in my ears. Kaya hadn't told me something, and as she retreated off the podium, leaving the stage with an unreadable face, the room descended into a silent, uncomfortable tension. Brent and Madison smirked and muttered something else. This time, I couldn't hear it, but I didn't have to. The harm was already done. Because of what happened next, I reasoned, there was nothing that could be done in that room. Not even by me. The evening had begun so gorgeously. Willow Creek High's gym was absolutely glowing, with string lights hanging across the ceiling, throwing languid arcs of a gentle golden tint across the rows of gold and blue folding chairs. Flags were tacked to the walls, fluttering lightly from the hum of the overhead fans. Parents milled about in heels and ties, whispering polite conversation while taking pictures whenever possible. It was supposed to be a night filled with hope. But now, all I felt was an unsettling emptiness. The night that was meant to celebrate Kaya had been tainted by their cruelty. Every spark of joy seemed to fizzle out in the air, overshadowed by the tension that hung over us. I glanced at Kaya again, wondering if she had heard them. Wondering if, deep down, she was struggling as much as I was to hold it all together. The night was supposed to be hers, but instead, it felt as if we were all caught in a moment that wouldn't let go, trapped under the weight of their words,